Hello everybody and welcome back to Final Fantasy IX. We're still just hanging out here in the item shop, but there's nothing really left to do here, so let's move on. As I say, we're going to continue hunting secrets. You'll see up in the top of the screen there the ticket booth. Say, when we go there, we'll actually start progressing along in the story again. But for now, we're going to head over to these two shops. Both of these shops are closed, but this is the synthesis shop. Later on in the game, the synthesis will allow us to, and I care to mention there's an ether over here. But a synthesis shop will allow you to combine multiple equipment parts into a new equipment, some kind of new equipment. I'm having trouble speaking today. Okay. Over here, you'll see the sword with an arrow in front of it. This leads to the weapons and armor store. I'm guessing another nice little lucrative business opportunity. Here's a remedy over here. I'd say if they want something, they can buy it here and then take it over to this other shop. What do you got to say? Okay, I can't really help you out there. Apparently, the Knights of Pluto are having problems recruiting people. That, or we just generally have a recruiting poster in the equipment shop. Up here, you'll see the statue to the 3 heroic Knights of Pluto. I'd say both can commemorate the 3 that fought bravely in the 15th Limbum War in 1601. How many times? That means they fought Limblum 15 times? Little side quest here. If you want to do this, you can steal his 3 cards. We're going to be doing so because we don't have at least one of the cards, and we won't be getting one for a while, so why not get it early? Another side quest right here. This is more of a mini game, though. If you want to, you can talk to the middle girl there and jump rope. If you do this over 1,000 times, you get a key item that does nothing. There are cards and a 50 gil reward if you jump enough, but building up, eventually you just gotta get to 1,000 to get the key item. I'm not going to be doing this, even though those cards that they do give away are rare. I can't jump 1,000 times, so it's really not worth it to waste the time. I barely get to 100, which means they give me the lowest card, I think. Here we have the man nailing up a sign for the mini theater, I believe. Yes, the mini theater. Still under construction. Alright, down here we have a house and a church and the docks. And that little girl just ran away from us. Well, let's loot her house. Oop. 3 gil. Yes, I'm being petty. Nope. Eye drops. That's an item that's meant to that's an item meant purely to cure blind. A status effect that really won't affect our mage here. Unless you want him to be attacking melee. Oh, the church has items too. Let's say we have here a tent. And over here we have a potion. And now you remember Hippal saying he hit his 3 cards? You climb up here. If you don't talk to Hippal, pulling this rope does nothing. But since we've talked to Hippal and found out about his 3 hidden cards, his little treasure chest here drops down, and you get the Ironite, the Goblin, and the Fang card. I don't think we actually had 2 of those. Unfortunately, that Fang is duplicate. If you're going for all the cards in the game, you will have no duplicates, because there are exactly 100 cards, and you can only hold exactly 100 cards. Anyway, there's another side quest down here. It's talking to this little kid here. Aww, poor little kitty, ran away. Yes, we'll tell him if we find him. Alright. See, it's impossible to know this beforehand, but Mittens doesn't appear until you actually talk to him. And, there's no really chase to this. There's 2 screens where he pops up. If I recall correctly, it's the square, and then, it's the one right before the square. So, it's the item shop, and actually, I think that's it. That's the only clue you were actually able to find them. Is if you go back to the item shop screen here, you'll see a kitty running that way. But say this kitty is eventually shown. I'll go to actually show you where the kitty is real quick. I skipped over a few screens there for the sake of time. See, here's Mittens. Meow. And Tom immediately comes running up to us somehow. And Mittens follows him. Whee! Don't you feel good for doing that? Anyway, I think now we'll go get our ticket stamped. See you there. On my way back to the ticket booth, I actually noticed something I don't think I've actually seen before. I examined here, and there's a letter on the door. I, of course, read the letter. It's a guy who moved here 3 years ago from Torino, and he can't sell any Oglop goodies. Once again, apparently Oglops aren't popular anywhere. Maybe, I don't know why. He's selling Oglop trinkets. Anyway, meet you back at the ticket booth this time. And here we are, back at the square. This is the ticket booth. So once again, we get an option, just like the candle, not to enter or do anything with the ticket booth. And here's the ticket master. Let's do anything but show him the ticket first. And this will tell you all the background story about I Want to Be Your Canary, Tantalus Company. What kind of troupe is Tantalus? Star performers from Limbum. With a company of Lav Leders. Nothing too original about the ideas of the play, but you'll find the execution of the play will probably be a little more interesting than you think. Kingdom of Alexandria is ruled by Queen Brahane, of course. And for asking this, we get a strange response. Tell us about Queen Brahane. She has a beautiful daughter. It's not really about Queen Brahane now, is it? Strange things. And you don't elaborate on strange things. Princess Garnet's getting a play for her 16th birthday. Everyone in Alexandria loves her. You can question if she's really pretty. Most beautiful princess in the history of Alexandria. Okay, now we have no other option but to leave. Oh, no, show ticket. So if you noticed earlier when I actually showed you the key item description, this is a fake ticket. Poor Vivi can't get a break, because as it said, it looks like an expensive ticket. Somebody probably charged him through the nose for a fake ticket. Thankfully, the Ticketmaster here is a nice guy and gives him 3 cards. We have a copy of all 3, unfortunately. I'm going to be skipping Alleyway Jack because it simply leads to a tutorial that really is not going to be used for this game. Not going to be used for this playthrough. You're never really going to see me play the card game. The closest thing you're going to see me do with cards is have a decent collection. Alright, since I can't get into play, I'll just go this way. Confused on how me tripping made him miss. And how he finished in 4 hits. He's calling us shrimp, and I believe we're actually a little taller than him. Lovely. I'm about to say we can ask him if he's Alleyway Jack, but he insults us for thinking that he's the loser. And we're gonna tell him it's a fake. Unfortunately, the only way forward is to agree. Oy. Yeah, it's clear. Fancy talk for steal the ladder. Now that guy back there is Alleyway Jack. And if you let him touch you and bump into you, he will steal some of your gil. If you talk to him beforehand, though, you'll get the little discussion that he's Alleyway Jack and he'll teach you about the card game. Alright, since we're skipping this and I didn't think about it, we're not going to the pub for any dang reason. So I'm going to quickly run back to the pub and grab the items. I'll tell you what they are in a second. And we're back. The pub only really had a potion, a small amount of gil, and a flan card, which... woohoo card. Anyway, we're going to continue following him until we get to here. I'm going to end off this here because I'm worried about the YouTube time limit again. And there's no really place to stop in the middle of all the conversation that's going to happen inside the church. So, hope you all had a good evening. See you later.